Okay, so for example 9.4.1, it will be a problem involving discount and percentage discount. So let's read the question together. It states that during a sale, a mobile phone was sold for $784, and this will be the selling price of the mobile phone. Okay, so if the mark price of the phone was 980, this is the mark price, find the percentage discount. Okay, so before we can find the percentage discount, we'll first need to find the discount first. So you know that discount equals to mark price minus the selling price. So in this case, we'll just take 980, okay, minus 784, and this will give us the discount. It will be equals to 196. Okay, so in order for us to find the percentage discount, now we have the discount already, so it will just be divided by the mark price times 100. Okay, so to write it out, it will be 196 over the mark price, which is 980. Okay, 980 times 100%. Okay, so in this case, the percentage discount will be just 20%. Okay, so please remember your units for the dollar sign and the percentage sign at the end of the final answers. Okay.
Hello everyone, welcome to this video where we are going to find out and solve the problem regarding mark price and GST, goods and services tax in Singapore. Okay, so for this particular question, we are given the following. We are given the mark price. And for this particular question, for the mark price, please change it to $216, okay? And then we are also given that the goods and services tax rate is 8%. This mark price also includes GST. So that is a very important clue, because this means that this mark price is 108%. Okay? So to solve for part A, find the price before GST, meaning we are required to find what is the price at 100%. So 108% represents 216. So how can I find my 100%? I would just divide by 108 to get 1%, followed by multiplying 100. And that will give me a value of $200. And that will be the answer for part A, where this is the price before GST. Do include statements like this, as it helps us to keep track of what the price represents. Part B, then what is the amount of GST levied on it? Okay, so for the GST, right? If the price without GST is $200 and the price with GST is $216, how can then I find the amount of GST? Levied means taxed. Okay, so the amount of GST in this case is simply the price with GST minus away the price before GST, and that will be $16. And for part C, ooh, interesting. There is a 10% discount offered on the mark price. Okay, and so the discount is actually the mark price minus the selling price, and since there is a 10% discount, I would like to find the selling price first. And the selling price, if I have 10% discount, means that the selling price will be 90% of the mark price, $216. And this will give me a value of $194.40. Do note that this discounted price still includes GST, and the GST rate is 8%. And therefore, applying what we have tried, the method for part A, then I would then have 108% to represent this $194.40. And do notice that in this case here, I am going to find 8%, because that is where the GST is. So all I have to do, I'm going to divide by 108. Then after that, I multiply by 8. And this will give me a value of $14.40, which will then be the GST now. And therefore, finally, I would then be able to find the decrease in the GST after the discounted price. So previously is $16, now is $14.40. So the decrease will be $1.60. With that, we have come to the end of this question. Thank you for watching the solution for this particular question. Let's move on to the next question. Hello everyone, welcome to this problem on GST, Goods and Services Tax. So in a receipt received by a restaurant, the subtotal amount which exclude, this is important, service charge and GST, the Goods and Services Tax, is $26.40. So for part A, if there is a 10% service charge, what is this service charge amount? So the service charge amount will be simply 10% of the total, and then this will be equals to $2.64. And for part B, GST rate is 8%. Find the GST amount. Do take note, the GST, Goods and Services Tax, includes the service charge. Okay. So to calculate GST, which is 8%, 8 over 100, Do take note that I will have to add my service charge as well when I calculate the GST. And so this will give me a value of $2.32 final answer $2.32, which is to the nearest cent. Okay, 2 dp. Now last part, so find the total amount that is payable, and you have to round up to the nearest 5 cents. So for part C, right, the total amount would then be, to sum out everything, $26.40 service charge. And do notice that because this is part of the working, Mr. Tan don't use $2.32, rather $2.32.32. Okay, this is important for accuracy. And this will sum up to $31.3632. Final answer to the nearest 5 cents means that we are going to look at this value. Okay, so in this case here, 6 is closer to 35 as opposed to 40, and therefore I will round it down to 35. Okay, and that will be the nearest 5 cents. With that, we have come to the end of this problem. So if you like this video, do give it a thumbs up and remember to subscribe. Thank you for watching, and let's move on to the next question.
For example 9.4.4, okay, it will be problems involving interest rate. Okay, so let's read the question. It says that Kendrick deposits $2,600 in a bank for 3 years at an annual interest rate of 1.2%. Annual means per year, so every year he will get 1.2% extra. Okay, so find the total interest, okay, if he will earn in 3 years if he withdraws the interest at the end of each year. Okay, so just to find the total interest. So how do we find the total interest? We can find the interest for 1 year first. You know that per year, as stated in the question, right? Okay, it will be 1.2% of his $2,600. Okay, so you can write it as $2,600, okay, times 1.2%. Okay, and you can also convert it to fraction times 1.2 over 100. Okay, so 1.2% will be 1.2 over 100. Okay, so it's not 12 over 100 but 1.2 over 100. Okay, so using a calculator, it will be $31.20. $31.20. Okay, so you find the interest for 1 year already. Okay, so how do we find the interest for 3 years? Okay, very simple. It will just be 31.20, okay, times 3. Okay, so in this case it will be $93.60. Okay, okay, so this will be the first method of how you can calculate the total interest he will earn in 3 years. Okay, there will be another method which will be using the formula on top. Okay, in this case it states that simple interest rate equals to principal. Principal is the amount deposited or borrowed times interest rate per annum times time in years. Following the example, the formula, okay, we can write it down. It will just be principal, which is the amount deposited, $2,600, times interest rate. Interest rate will be 1.2% times the time. As stated in the question, it is 3 years. Okay, so times 3. In this case, it will just be 2,600 times 1.2 over 100, change it to a fraction, times 3. And the total amount will be 93.60. Okay, so you can see that for method 1 and method 2, the answer will be the same. Depending on what you prefer, you can choose the method that you want to use to solve the question. So let's move on to part B. It states that if he wants to earn a total interest rate of 156, how long should he deposit his money in the bank? So for method 1, okay, you can see that 1 year he earns an interest rate of $31.20, right? You can write it down as 1 year equals to $31.20. And we are actually trying to find the number of years for it to be equals to $156. So we are finding the time it takes for us to gain an interest, total interest rate amount of $56. So to earn $156, the time will just be 156 divided by 31.20, okay, and this will give us the number of years. Okay, in this case will be 5 years. Okay, so 1 year, $31.20. 5 years will be $156. For method 2, okay, if you are using the formula of simple interest rate, okay, so I will just write it down as method 2. It will just be, okay, to earn $156, it will just be the principal amount of $2,600 times 1.2% times time. Okay, this is exactly the same formula as this, okay, just that now we are trying to find the time, right? So I just subbed in the various values. So to find time, okay, it will just be 156, okay, divided by 2,600 times 1.2%, okay. So for the 1.2%, okay, you can change it to fraction before keying into your calculator, times 1.2 over 100, yes, and this will be equals to, if you key into your calculator, it will be equals to 5 years as well. Okay, so there's also 2 methods for part B, depending on which one you have used for part A. The answers will be the same, which is 5 years. For example 9.4.5, we'll be solving word problems involving deposits and installments. So let's read the question. It states that a car dealer priced a car at 84,000. Customers can purchase the car using 2 of the following schemes. Yes, scheme A, it will just be cash payment. If you pay by cash, you will receive a 10% discount. And scheme B, it will be a 20% deposit and 950 monthly installments for 6 years and 3 months. Okay, So because it's a monthly installment, right, we can convert 6 years and 3 months to be 75 months in total. So it'll just be 12 times 6 plus 3, okay, 75 months. So Mr. Tan bought the car under Scheme B, okay, the second scheme. Calculate the total amount of money Mr. Tan paid for the car, okay. So you know that Scheme B consists of a deposit and a monthly installments of $950. So let us find the deposit first. So to find the deposit, it will just be 20% of the 84,000. Okay, so you can write it as fraction as well, 20 over 100, okay, times 84,000, okay. And this will give us the value of $16,800, okay. So this will be the deposit. And to find the installment, the question states that there's a monthly installment of $950 for 6 years and 3 months, which is 75 months in total. So it will just be $950 times 75 months. Okay, so this will give us a value of 71,250. So to find the total amount of money Mr. Tan has paid for the car, it will just be deposit plus installment. Okay. So if we add up the deposit and installment, it will give us $88,050. Okay, so this will be the amount, total amount Mr. Tan has paid if he have chosen Scheme B. So for part B, calculate the percentage savings he would have made if he paid by cash. Okay, so for the percentage savings, now we are looking at if Mr. Tan has chosen Scheme A, how much is the percentage of how much did he save in terms of percentage, okay? So to find the percentage savings, we have to find the cost of the car for Scheme A first, right? So in this case, since Scheme A is cash payment with 10% discount, the car is priced at 84,000. So in this case, cost of car for Scheme A will be just 90% of 84,000 because there is a 10% discount. Yes. Okay, so let's change the fraction as well. Okay, 84,000, 90 over 100 times 84,000, and this will give us $75,600. Okay, so the cost of car under Scheme A will be this value. So to find the percentage savings, right, we have to find how much he will save first if Mr. Tan were to buy the car under Scheme A. So savings of Scheme A as compared to Scheme B will be just, okay, $88,050 minus, okay, $75,600. Okay, so total amount of Scheme B minus the cost of car for Scheme A. This will give us a value of $12,450. Okay, so now you have your savings as compared to Scheme B if Mr. Tan were to choose Scheme A, and we can now find the percentage savings, right? For percentage savings, okay, it will just be savings over the original price times 100%. For the savings we have calculated will be $12,450 over original price of the car, which is 84,000 times 100%, and this will give us a value of 14.82142%. Okay, because there are so many significant figures, right? In terms of word problems, we have to round off to 3SF. Okay, it will just be 14.8%. Okay, so for word problem, if there's more than 3 significant figures, okay, we will actually use the approximate sign and to round off the final answer to be 3SF, which is 14.8.
Okay, so today we're starting on Barry has a challenge yourself one. So let's read the question. Barry has a bag of marbles. 3/8 of the marbles are red, 70% of the marbles are yellow, remaining marbles are yellow, and the other 12 marbles are green. How many marbles are there in the bag together? So when we read this question, we know that this is the unknown I need to look for. So what will I do is I will let this be X. Okay, so when I start the question, I start drawing out a diagram first. So this is my entire diagram. This is the number of marbles that I have that are red, and from here the remaining 70% of them are yellow and 30% of it is green. So from this diagram, I can very clearly see that 30% of the remaining marbles is actually 12 marbles, because they wrote in the question that there are 12 green marbles. So from here, I will write down, let X be the total number of marbles. Red color is actually this, 3/8 of X. Yellow marbles are actually 70% of the remaining, so therefore it is 70% times the remaining marbles, which is 5/8X. And since I know that the green marbles are actually 12, which is actually 30% of the remaining, I can conclude that 12 is actually equals to 30% of 5/8X, which is therefore this. So once I have gotten this, I will simplify this by removing the bracket and multiplying this in the calculator to getting 3/16x. And from here, I can divide the 3/16 to the other side, and that's how I get my answer as 64. Okay, so just in case some of you do not know how to move this, you will multiply the 16 first to get 12 times 16, and then you will divide away the 3. So maybe I can break it down for you. So from here is actually 12 times 16 equals to 3x, because you shift the 16 to the other side to become times, and then 12 times 16 over 3 will become x. Okay, so that is actually the same as x equals to 12 times 16 over 3. Okay, that's all. Okay, we're starting on a challenge yourself 2. Some bacteria were introduced into the culture. The number B, which is the bacteria, T hours after being introduced is given by this particular formula. Find the percentage increase. So to find the percentage increase in the number of bacteria, I must first find out how many bacteria are there even at the start of the experiment. Because they said that find the percentage increase in the number of bacteria at the end of the first hour. So within the first hour, within the 0 hour to the first hour, there has been an increase in the number of bacteria. But how much bacteria are there at the very beginning, and how much bacteria are there after the first hour, we do not know. Does it mean that it's a 0 hour? Does it mean that if it is a 0 hour, it is therefore no bacteria? No, they didn't tell us that in the question, so we must check. So let's look at it right now. So what do I do is, I want to find out what is it, how many bacteria are there when it is the 0th hour, basically the starting of the experiment before you even start. So I substitute t equals to 0 inside, I key this in, I put it in, and I realized that when I key 3 to the power of 0 into the calculator, I'll get 1. So this is 1000 times 1, which is 1000 bacteria that is present at the very start of the experiment. And after 1 hour, I will substitute in, I find out that it is 3000 bacteria that are present in the culture after 1 hour. So how to find out percentage increase? The formula is actually the new minus the O over the O times 100%. So the new, it is 3000 minus the O original, which is 1000, over the original, which is 1000 times 100%. The answer will be 200%. So that's how you do it. Okay, we're at the very last question. Challenge yourself 3. The cash price of a television is 1475. The higher purchase price of a television is 1651. So we read the question, please underline. We have the higher purchase price we have the cash price is this. The higher purchase price is this. So what do you mean by higher purchase? Higher purchase is actually the deposit plus 12 equal monthly payments of 113. So immediately I know that this, which is actually 1651, is actually the deposit, which I don't know how much this is, but plus 12 equal monthly payments of 113. So from here, I'll write it down. Higher purchase is actually equals to the deposit plus 12 times 113. I know what is the higher purchase. They told me the higher purchase is 1651. So I can find out what's the deposit by minusing the 12 times 113. So I'll shift it to the other side and I'll get the deposit is equals to 1651 minus this. So you get 295. After I find out that the deposit is 295, how do I calculate the deposit as a percentage of the cash price? So this tells me, based on this question, tells me that it will be deposit over the cash price times 100%. So therefore, deposit as a percentage of the cash price is deposit over the cash price, which is 1475 times 100%, you get 20%. And that's all.